Dear learners, this is Shashi Ramachandran. In this video, I'm continuing my topic from the previous video, that is revaluation account part 2. So in my previous video, I explained you about the concept of revaluation account, and also we learned some adjustment and their treatment with the help of this revaluation account. So now I'm proceeding with some more adjustments which are related with debtors. Now going to show you one extract of a balance sheet wherein the debtors are shown on the asset side. Of course, debtors are our assets, and the provision for doubtful debts are deducted here. So you can see here that provision for doubtful debts which are deducted here, it can be shown on the liability sides also. Okay, so by nature, provision for doubtful debt is a liability. It is a part of a profit. If you remember, you learned in your class 11th that it is a part of the profit which is kept aside for the known liabilities. Okay, known losses which we know that if we have more credit sales, we'll have a bad debts also. Chances of bad debts are more. So we create provision for doubtful debts. Now, as I said, this is a liability. So any increase or decrease in this one will be shown as a decrease and increase in the liability only. That means if provision for doubtful debts increases, so liability increases. And in a revaluation account, increase in a liability is shown on the debit side. Or we can say the journal entry will be revaluation account debit to provision for doubtful debts. Same way, if this provision for doubtful debts amount decreases, it's a profit and it will be shown on the credit side. So what we learned here, as a first point, we learned that provision for doubtful debt is a liability, and any increase and decrease will be recorded on the debit or credit side of the revaluation account. Another important thing which you have to remember here is 50,000 rupees is your debtor. Now any bad debts if occurred, it reduces our debtors, no doubt, but the point here is that amount will be recovered from this provision for doubtful debts, because these are meant for recovering the losses of debtors. Provision for doubtful debts are meant to recover the losses of debtors. So any bad debt amount or any loss amount will be recovered from the provision of for doubtful debts to the extent of this amount, 10,000. So second important thing which we need to remember is that bad debt to the extent of provision will be adjusted from this account only, that is provision for doubtful debts. And beyond that, if any losses goes beyond this provision for doubtful debt, then of course it will be shown in our revaluation account, because this is an account which we are maintaining as a nominal account in case of reconstitution of a partnership firm. Now let's take some adjustment point and try to understand that how these are treated, again the entries as well as in revaluation. Now, the first transaction says a discounted bill of exchange of rupees 4,000 was dishonored. If a discounted bill is of exchange is dishonored. So we pass a reverse entry here. We pass a reverse entry stating that amount is debtors are increased, and of course if the debtors are increased, but remember one thing, there is one term here, discounted. So this bill is discounted, that means now we have to pay the amount to the bank, and automatically if it is dishonored, bank will take away the money. So our debtors are increased, of course, but also we paid this money through bank. So one asset increased, another asset decreased, so here it will not affect your revaluation account. If your debtors are increased, another liability asset is decreased, you pay through bank. Second thing, second transaction if I take here, it says that the debtor whose dues of rupees 5,000 were written off as bad debts last year. They paid 4,000 in full settlement. Now this point says that the debtor where it is written off. So if the debtors bad debts are written off, there is nothing to do with the debtors here. because when we recover this bad debts which were written off last year or some year back, if we are recovering it, now it's a totally a profit nature thing. So when we recover this amount, the cash is received and a new account is opened, that is bad debt recovered account. Now this bad debt recovered account or the amount which is received, that is 4,000, this is totally a profit for the business. Therefore, it is to be recorded in a revaluation account. So the journal entry, and if I pass the first entry here, it will be cash account debit because the cash is received and it's an income here, and a new account which is open, which is bad debts recovered account. And the next effect will be this bad debt recovered account will be transferred to revaluation because by nature it's an income and it happens at the time of reconstitution of a business firm. So it is going to be recorded in a nominal account of revaluation on the credit side. Why credit side? Of course, happy moment. Now taking another example. Here it goes like an old customer Mohan whose account was written off as a bad debt. Now again the same thing, if you can see it, this account has been written off as a bad debt, had promised to pay 5,000 in full settlement of his full debt of rupees 7,000. His debt was 7,000, but what he promised to pay, he promised to pay 5,000. So actually if I see for the profit part, 5,000 is the only profit which I have. 7,000 is the amount which is he's supposed to pay, but what I'm going to get is 5,000. Now if I see the journal entry over here, here the debtors, now why we have not written as a cash or bad debt recovered account, because it's only the promise. That is important thing to understand. These two transaction, in first case it was bad debt recovered, so we opened a new account, bad debt recovered account, but here it's only the promise. So our debtors will increase. These are the good debtors where it says that we are going to receive 5,000 in future. So increase in the debtor is recorded on the credit side of the revaluation account. Now moving to the next adjustment, wherein we have a balance sheet and debtors provision for doubtful debts, and the adjustment is given as there are a bad debts of rupees 12,000. So if you remember, I explained you here the bad debts are to be recovered from our provisions which are 10,000, and if we see here 12,000 is the amount of bad debts which is more than the provision. So this 12,000 of the bad debts can be recovered to the extent of 10,000 from provision for doubtful debts, and the remaining loss, bad debt is a loss, that will be taken out from the revaluation account. So just have a look on the journal entries. Bad debt of course reduces the debtors, bad debt account debit to debtors account. Second step, this bad debts will be recovered. It will be recovered from the provision, but here the provision is only 10,000. So remaining loss is to be transferred to revaluation account. And in a revaluation account, there is only one thing, that is on the debit side, we'll record it as to bad debt account. These are few important things you should remember. Now let's take another adjustment. Here it says that the balance sheet, again same thing, debtors are given, provisions are given, 45,000 of that amount is there after deducting the provision for doubtful debts, and there is one adjustment here which says that an amount of 4,000 due from Mahesh, a debtor, is to be written off as no longer receivable. So 4,000 is the amount which is, of course, it's not going to be recovered, so it is a bad debt. Now it says provision for doubtful debt to remaining on the remaining debtor is to be maintained on the current rate. It says it is to be maintained at current rate. So let's see what is the current rate here. 5,000 is a provision of 50,000. So rate is 10%. So we need to maintain the 10% of rate for this provision for doubtful debts. And we know that the debtor amount is decreased. Why? Because there is a bad debts here. Okay, so if I pass a journal entry here, first entry will be to record this bad debts. Bad debt account debit to debtors 4,000. So my debtors are reduced now. That is, now they are only 46,000. And since I have a provision, so my next step will be that bad debts will be recovered from the provision. So I recovered my bad debts from the provision and 4,000 rupees. Now I have 1,000 rupees of provision left with me. 5,000 out of which 4,000 is been used for recovering the bad debts. Now I have 1,000. And what amount of debtors I'm left with? I'm left with 50,000 less 4,000. So this is my debtors amount. So if I have to maintain 10% of the profit provision, it will be 10% of this amount, which comes to 4,600. Okay, now 4,600 is supposed to be maintained, but if I see here, my provision amount is 1,000 rupees, which is already there. So I'm going to create a new provision for rupees 3,600. And this provision, of course, will my provision for doubtful debts will increase, uh, like so it is a loss, so we am going to record on the debit side. My provision for doubtful debt is a liability. Now it is for 1,000. I'm going to increase it to 4,600, 4,600. So it's going to increase. Increase in the liability is recorded on the debit side of revaluation account. So this is a amount which is to be presented in revaluation account. So remember, if you are asked to pass the journal entries, you have to pass all these three entries. But if we are preparing our revaluation account and then capital account, so in revaluation account, this is the impact. So I hope you now got it, that how this 3,600 has been taken out. 50,000, there's a bad debt of 4,000. So first step, we have taken out bad debts, and this bad debt can be easily recovered from the provision amount. So provision is left with, provision amount is 5,000. We deducted 4,000 bad debt, so we are left with 1,000. And it says that it has to be maintained on a current rate, which is 10%. 46,000, 10% is for 4,600. It has to be maintained for 4,600. Already 1,000 is there with us. So we are going to have a provision of rupees 3,600. And this is what we are going to show in our revaluation account. Moving ahead, the next point here, one important thing which you have to remember, that always the provision is created or made only on a doubtful debts. So there are good debts and a bad debts. Okay, for the good debts as well as for the bad debts, we do not create any provision. This is what thing you have to remember. This is very important thing which you need to remember. If you know that your debtors are going to pay you money, if there is any such promise or such thing which indicates that you surely going to receive the money, that is good debts. On that, provision is not created. Same way, you are sure that you are not going to receive that money, it is irrecoverable, then also on that money provision is not to be created. So again, I'll explain you in a different way. If we need to create a provision on debtors, what we need to deduct, we need to deduct good debtors, good debts, as well as bad debts. And on the remaining amount, we are going to create provision. Provision is to be created on this balance amount. On this balance amount, we are going to create our provision, whatever percentage it says. Clear? And it's very clear. Why? What's the logic behind? Good debt says us that there is no need to create a provision on good debts, because provision is created when we have a doubt of that amount may or may not will receive. When good debt say gives us a promise, gives us a surety that amount is going to receive, then there is no need to like make any provision for that. Same, but again for the bad debts where we are very much sure that we are not at all going to receive any amount, it's a totally loss for us, then also there is no fun to make a provision on that. Okay, now let's say take some example adjustment related to this. Now I've taken again an extract of a balance sheet wherein it says that asset are given to us wherein debtors are 40,000. Now my adjustment says that a discounted bill of exchange of rupees 2000 was dishonored, but no entry has been passed. We already this did this type of a question here. Adjustment we have taken discounted bill of exchange 2000. So we are going to pass a reverse entry wherein our debtors are going to increase because they are dishonored. It's dishonored, so our debtors will increase. If I my debtors increase by 2000, so what will be my debtors amount now? It is 42,000, and I need to create a provision for doubtful debts of 5%. So I'm going to create my provision on this 42,000. I'll create 5% of this amount as a provision for doubtful debts. So my first entry is for the dishonor of discounted bill, and the second entry is for the provision for doubtful debts. And since my debtors are increased, therefore my provision also will be created on that total 42,000 rupees, and my it will be shown on the debit side of revaluation account. Okay, moving to the next one. Here again I have 45,700 debtors. Now let's understand this carefully. Here it says, out of total debtors, 700 due from Amit proved to be bad. So this 700 for sure it's not going to be recovered. So I'm going to deduct this amount. Another debtor, Mayank, who owed rupees 5,000 became insolvent. He's not in a position to pay full money. And it says that 40% of the amount due from Mayank is irrecoverable. That means 40% is surely what we are not going to get. Okay, so if I talk about bad debts, 40% of 5,000 is 3,000. So if I talk about bad debts, I have a bad debt of rupees 3,000. Sorry, it is 2,000. I'm sorry, 40% of 5,000 is 2,000. So my bad debt amount is 2,700. Now listen and try to understand this point clearly. I deducted my bad debts from the debtors. Now if you see and understand this point, it says that 5,000 was due to him. He became insolvent, and 40% for sure is not recoverable, but also it promises that 60% is recoverable. So another 60%, that means 3,000 rupees, is a good debt. That is a good debt. 6,700 less 700 less 2,000 and less 3,000, and this is your bad debts, and these are the 3,000 is a good debt which we are surely going to receive. This is surely we are not going to receive. So here while creating any provision, the next point says provision for doubtful debt is to be created 10% on debtors. So if we need to create a debtors 10% on the debtors, we are going to deduct entire thing here. So we are left with 40,000 rupees on which we are going to create 10% of provision for doubtful debts, and wherein bad debts are 2,700 and 3,000 are the good debts which we know that we are going to receive it. So we will not create any provision on that. So let's see journal entries here. Bad debt first thing 2,700. I hope it's clear. 700 clearly given, 40% irrecoverable. So 5,000, 40% is 2,000. So total bad debts become 2,700. Remaining 3,000 are the good debts which we are going to receive. Since we are not going to do any entry for that, but we are not going to create any provision also on them. So we'll be creating provision after deducting 5,700 from this amount, and we are going to create provision only on 40,000 rupees. That comes to 4,000. So all this money going to be taken care by revaluation, because bad debt is a loss, provision again increases the liability. So both are going to be recorded on the debit side of revaluation account. Okay, now we are going to do another part of this, that is accumulated profits. Now, accumulated profits are the one which are given in your balance sheet, which are the part of the profits which is kept aside, and that actually belongs to partners only. At the time of reconstitution of a partnership firm, we have to adjust this accumulated profits. I have a separate video on the treatment of accumulated profits and losses in case of a reconstitution of a partnership firm. So you can watch my video. That video link will be given in the description box, wherein I have explained that how the accumulated profits and losses are treated and what are the different cases. Here in this video, I'm only taking the case wherein these accumulated profits are going to affect my revaluation account. So let's take an example. Workmen compensation fund. Workmen compensation reserve is a reserve. It's a liability like 40,000. If nothing is mentioned, we distribute this amount. And if there is any claim against it, then in that case, the claim amount is shown in a revised balance sheet, because that becomes your actual liability. Rest of the money is distributed to the partners in their profit sharing ratio. To understand more about it and in details, please do watch my videos, previous video. And now what I'm going to take is, if the claim is more than the reserve amount. So let's see, if the claim on workmen compensation reserve is 45,000 and what we have as a reserve is only 40,000. If you can see, the 40,000 is the amount of reserve and we have a claim of 45,000. So this claim of course is to be adjusted through the reserve what we have, but we have more than that. So 40,000, to the extent of 40,000, it will be recovered from this reserve which we already have, and remaining 5,000 is a loss. And where we show the losses at the time of reconstitution of a partnership firm? Yes, of course, it's shown in the revaluation account on a debit side. So this is a journal entry wherein the workman compensation reserve is cancelled. Liability has a credit balance. We are debiting this. It's getting cancelled. And claim is a new liability which is created, therefore credit. And the difference amount is a revaluation, wherein we are showing that revaluation is taking care of remaining loss. So it's a loss recorded on the debit side of workman compensation fund. Now, there is one more reserve which has to be taken care, that is investment fluctuation reserve. So now for investment fluctuation reserve also same thing, that this reserve is created for the losses to be recovered for with effect of investment. Any loss which is on the investment, that will be taken care by investment fluctuation reserve. So if I say the market value of investment is rupees 35,000, that means the value of investment is going to be decrease. So decrease in investment, decrease in asset is shown in revaluation account. But remember, if we have something to take care of these losses, first we'll take a help of that only. So here we have a reserve where we have already maintained 10,000 rupees. So to the extent of 10,000, we can recover losses from this reserve. So now let's see what is the loss amount here. We have a loss of 15,000, but we have a reserve of only 10,000. 10,000 will be recovered from here, and remaining loss, who is the one who is going to take care of that? Yes, of course, revaluation account, because that is a nominal account which you are going to maintain during this reconstitution of a partnership firm. So, revaluation account is going to take care of the remaining loss. Out of 15, 10 will be taken care by investment fluctuation reserve, and rest of the loss will be taken again taken care by revaluation account. So, here revaluation account, we are going to record 5,000 rupees on this side, that is this debit side. Okay, here just make it correct by it's a small, there's a small mistake in this slide, so I'll show you. It says investment account. You'll be writing here only investment account. Okay, because you can see the posting from that journal, it says investment account. I have covered all the possible adjustments related to revaluation account, and if any of the adjustments you are finding difficult or not understanding, please do write in a comment box and I'll surely get back to you. So I hope you like the video, share the videos with your friends, and do subscribe to my channel Exuberant Learners, and also click on the bell icon to get the latest update on my channel. Thank you.